Alive. So when it goes to relationship, that's what I'm going to refer to. So
Okay,
I'm only gonna touch into talking. But,
yeah, I've got a few bits that I've looked at for that.
But because you've experienced it as well, then.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
And then these two will just rub off each other with them more. But it'd be fine.
That's not. Let's just rub off each other.
Yeah, saying it in a Scottish accent doesn't make it any better.
Oh.
Like, in any way whatsoever.
Oh. Hello.
Who's that? Dad.
They're yours.
Yes, we
Why
are
are you
live.
doing Facebook?
Because we are live. Go.
Cool. That's a good start.
I need to have like.
Are they yours?
Yes!
You need like a sign.
Yeah, like keep that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, what's it? They put it on the outside of like recording centre, like now recording or now in session or something.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I need.
Oh, it's your birthday in June.
May?
Mate, oh, who's June?
Callum.
That's
Yeah.
it.
June.
You're born a month apart. It's hard to tell which one's which.
That is true. That is very true.
Well, with several years between you.
5.
Okay, so should we get started with these questions?
No, yeah, it's not even 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
You came up early.
I've got a natural presence on camera, can't you tell?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Right. Where do questions at?
Yeah.
Give me questions.
Let's just get started. Shalom. That's what Callum said. Shalom.
Has he converted to the Jewish faith, is he?
Callum, have you converted to the Jewish faith? I don't even know if he knows what that means. This is Callum we're talking about.
Jewish?
No, yeah, I know what it means.
Yeah.
But what does Callum know what it means?
I don't know, we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah. Callum, do you know what conversion to the Jewish faith means? And for those watching, my little brother is watching, and he said shalom. So, just what? Callum said, "What's it like to finally have a girl in your room besides your mother?" That's actually really good. Really good.
Define girl, Callum.
Yeah. Oh dear. Getting a lot of people joining. Hello everyone. Nice to see everyone. This is Sarah, my cousin.
Hi guys.
No, it's not. Oh, what's his name? What's the one from the Goonies?
Hey you guys.
Yeah, what's
I can't remember his name.
It's not Sloth, is it?
No.
If anyone's watched the Goonies, who's that guy with the weird face? What's his name? Oh, Jesus.
Whoever has the answer, Ryan's going to do the truffle shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Someone who has... Oh, I can't just being silly now. Someone who has the breast and the vagina has to answer to your question.
And I don't have any of those, Cal, sorry.
There you go. Okay, we will get started in a minute. I know everyone's eager.
Build the suspense.
Build the suspense. How's everyone's day going? Google it. Okay. Google it.
Did you just say Google it?
Yeah, Sloth! I was right!
Yeah, you were right. Okay.
Yeah, because he was played by like an American football player, I think. Thanks, Faye. I was right. I knew I was right. Yeah, Sloth!
Yes! Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll take that. That's my win for the day. Okay. Well, that sounds like a you problem. Yeah, shut up, Cal. All right, let's get started, shall we? Hope everyone is okay. This is my cousin. One of my cousins. I have a big family. Sarah is her name.
And she's not on the game.
Alright, okay. So
You need something to end that with.
yeah, I did, yeah, just completely just stopped, didn't it? Okay. Sarah.
Books are her game.
Yeah. What are you studying at uni again?
I'm doing a teacher training course.
Teacher training
But
course.
I noticed you mentioned psychology. I've done psychology. It's just
Yeah, so she's very much into psychology, which is the kind of thing that I'm on a journey with at the minute. So I thought it'd be really cool to get her on and delve into a few things that'd be interesting. We have a few. Overall, we have 11 questions, which is awesome. And we have more people tuned in this week again, which is amazing. Thank you, guys. Some of them are personal. When I say personal, being about me. And others are general. Others are about topics that some of you may be struggling with at the minute, or have struggled with in the past. It is worth noting that all of these are our personal opinions. I don't have any qualifications regarding. What do you have any qualifications regarding psychology?
I have a psychology A level.
Okay, she has a psychology A level. That's pretty damn good, because I don't. I mean, I've done a couple of modules in uni.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychology, like in sort of pedagogy and teaching strategies and things. There's a lot of child psychology in that, so it's basically just building on my A level knowledge, and yeah, so it a lot of things intertwine and have relevance in other subjects.
She's very brainy.
I like learning. I guess.
Yeah, I like learning. Learning's fun. Hey, I like learning as well. I love learning. Probably a lot more than a lot of people, to be fair.
Just not very good at it. That's
I'm not very good at it either. Okay, right, so let's get cracking. What was Ryan like when he was younger, Sarah?
He was a whiny little dick.
There you go. I was a whiny little dick. What was I? Yeah, I probably was a whiny little dick, to be fair.
To be fair, no, you were like...
A whiny little dick.
Yeah, you were... In a nutshell. No,
In a nutshell.
No, you were just... I don't
A
know.
whiny little dick.
No, let me get the phrasing together. You didn't really like things that didn't go your way.
I think that's
yeah, if they didn't go your way or they weren't the way you like them, you just had a meltdown.
Yeah.
But I would say...
A lot of people are like that still.
Yeah, like, not only have you, like, evolved, but also I'd say that you're always quite a lateral leader. Like, no, I would, because, like, whatever Ryan was into, we were going to do it as well. Like, if Ryan's doing it, we're doing it. Like, Ryan got really into Bruce Lee, and then for the next 3 years straight, all we'd ever do is practice Kung Fu in the garden. Like, just because Ryan was into it.
It would literally be like, what was it? I would call it a fighting game.
Yeah.
And me and my cousins would go around. We'd pick names for ourselves. We'd pick backstories. We'd pick our favourite weapons. We'd spend 2 minutes.
We basically like D&Ders before we discovered D.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we like imagine fight, and we spend about 15 minutes doing it, and we get bored and move on to something else.
Yeah.
The majority of the time spent on working up a story.
Yeah.
And then after that, we was like, yeah, we're bored now.
Yeah.
Moving on.
But do you remember the Batman and Robin we had? Like we had Batman and Robin. Like, your mum always used to buy Batman and Robin stuff, but you liked Robin better. So I always got Batman, which was a good thing. I suppose I'll have Batman then.
I remember. So another one of my cousins, Sam. He's not on here. I don't think he's on Instagram either, to be fair. But it was always like Power Rangers as well, and he always used to be the Red Ranger. I was always like the blue one or something like that, but never mind.
No, you got to be Black Ranger quite a lot. He was quite cool.
Yeah, no, White Ranger was the coolest. The one with the ponytail.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anyway, and then it kind of moved on. We got a trampoline, like my brother said. We got a trampoline. We started playing wrestling on a trampoline, which is awesome.
Do you remember when I bruised the ball of my foot on that trampoline?
Oh yeah, I remember when I jumped off because we had a climbing frame. Katie was pink. Katie was pink Power Ranger.
He was spoiled.
Yeah, we had a climbing frame, and just down the climbing frame was like a trampoline, and we used to jump off the climbing frame onto a trampoline, and we used to frog splash it and like jump on our asses onto it and stuff like that. And I jumped on it one time and I ended up going backwards, and we didn't have. It got to the point on the trampoline where it was so used that we didn't have any of the blue thing or like protector thing around it.
Yeah.
And as I came back up, I went backwards and my feet went in between the springs, and I went backwards like that. But it went in and it went between the springs.
No, he was literally crabbing like over the the metal bar, the rim. Of
Literally.
the he was crabbing
Literally.
backwards with one leg stuck down.
Both legs stuck in.
I thought it was one leg.
No, both legs.
Oh.
And I was that short at that time that the rim went to my hip, so it hit my crotch and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, did you hurt your bits?
Yeah, it hurt my bits. I'm not the tallest. As my little brother says, I'm a really tall dwarf. But doesn't matter. So yeah, that was eventful. But yeah, it was a very imaginative one. Action Men, Lego. Oh, I got loads of stories to say with that, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say was, anything that Ryan was into, everybody followed suit. Like, you were just so, I don't know, convincing with everything. Everything you did. It was like, we just start getting into the new thing that you were into, and you change your mind, and we had to suddenly switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, anything you were into, we followed.
How tall are you? He's 4'2". I'm not. I'm 5'7".
I'm 5'5".
You're 5'5".
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'm still taller.
2 inches.
Yeah, yes. Hey, that makes a lot of difference,
Oh.
That's what
yeah,
she
baby,
said.
it's the extra 2 inches. You feeling that extra 2 inches?
We have people under 18 watching this. No, we don't really.
You do. They came to the wrong channel.
Yeah, that's being generous. So yeah, I'm only 5'4". Yeah, no, I'll take that. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'm the reason why I'm a really tall dwarf. I think it was just like on the whim that my little brother said it. But I said it. I reasoned with it this way. So I am shorter than the average height for a male. Now,
Yes.
right? And I'm tall. I'm taller than a dwarf. So if anyone's watched The Hobbit, I'm Dwan.
Yeah.
I'm Dwan.
Yeah.
So I'm a really tall dwarf. That's what I say.
You're tall on the inside, right?
I'm tall. I'm 4'11".
I'm
so
skinny on the inside. No, in all seriousness, you gotta have a bit of self-acceptance. Like, you gotta just own what you are and who you are. Like, there's no point in trying to be something someone else is. You got so much more to offer than they have. So.
We go into that as well. So it does get a bit deep, this one. But I like these kind of conversations, and obviously with the humour that everyone's writing, make it a bit lighter. I mean, you got my another cousin, Katie Pierce's Beauty. So Katie is another one of my cousins, and Callum is my dickhead of a brother. So, yeah. Okay, so one of my clients, and this was for her friend. This was for her. The person is a guy. I'm not sure if that would change how you answer the question, but the question is, what tips can you give to help motivate someone? So we're talking specifically a guy, but I can't imagine there's many.
So a
changes.
person is trying to motivate a man.
Yeah, a
Is that
friend.
what
Yeah, a friend.
It doesn't really make different what gender you are, really, because motivation is pretty much psychologically the same. It's about a goal outweighing the pain of doing those things repeatedly to reach that goal. So if that goal is so important to you and is the big motivator, then those things that you need to do to get there will just fall into place. A lot of the time people do want to do these things and are motivated for a while, and then after a while they lose interest, and it's about how bad you want the end result. And it's about discipline. There are things that you can do to try and motivate yourself better. So you can do things like I might give you a link to it, actually. There's several YouTube videos that talk about self-motivation.
YouTube videos are really good, actually.
Yeah, but I'll send you a link. But there's one which is based in theory, whereby you do things for short periods of time every day, and you gradually lengthen that period of time. And the idea is, because it's only, say, 2 minutes, you don't mind doing it for 2 minutes.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 2 minutes. It's
compromising.
Fine.
Isn't it?
You do it for 2 minutes. It's fine. It's hardly anything, and then you gradually increase it until you hardly.
Don't say 2 minutes is hardly anything, because I think women would say no. 2 minutes is a very, very short period of time.
That's what your women say, is it right?
No.
2 minutes is quite a long period of time.
Yeah. Yes, 2 minutes, 1 second. 2 minutes, 1 second.
Oh, we're talking about holding breath. Yeah. How long you can hold breath.
Yeah.
I'm on 3 minutes.
It's alright. I know people on 10 seconds. But yeah, no, carry on. Sorry.
So that's one way of sort of motivating yourself, is trying not to bite off too much in one go. Try and do tiny little bits every day and gradually increase them. That can help motivation, just because it's not much of a chore if you're tricking your brain into saying it's only 2 minutes. But yeah, I will leave a link for that as a YouTube video YouTube channel I watch quite a lot. I'll link it down in Ryan's.
Yeah, let me know and I'll put it in the description.
I don't know how to navigate Instagram, but I'll give it to Ryan and Ryan can deal with it.
You two are funny. Thank you. We are very funny.
I think what you're trying to say is Sarah's funny, right? Ryan's just rubbing off me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Plank for 2 minutes or wall sit. Ooh, wall sit. I will go with wall sit. Sarah's not really much of an exercise person, so.
I exercise my brain very often, actually.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be very good at a wall sit, to be fair. It's basically like a squat hold against the wall.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Well, I used to do karate quite a lot.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, it's I don't know, life gets in the way, and you just, like, for me...
Yeah, sorry, Sarah, you're the funny one. Shut up.
Exercising my brain is more important to me than exercising my body, even though I know I should. I know it's, like, better for me to do both, but I haven't really got time for both when... the books call me. There's important stuff I need to know.
I hit paper and ink. What tips can you give to help motivate someone? For me? Okay, so Sarah's gone down the route of compromise. They've gone down the route of breaking a big goal into smaller chunks, which can help. He lies, wall sits are not fun. No, they are not fun, but they are better than planks.
Anything's better than planks.
Yeah, they are. So I'm going to take a different approach. A lot of you know, sometimes, like, read my book and stuff, I'm very, 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 what would you call the word, about, like, the context in which I say things with, I'm very... Straightforward.
Yeah, very straight talking.
Very straight talking. So I'm going to take it a different way. If someone's struggling with motivation, right, what's the alternative? So if they are struggling with motivation, if you are where you are right now, you're sat, or someone who's sat down and struggling to get motivation and stuff like that, the alternative for them with not doing what they're doing is doing what they are currently doing, which is still sitting down and not doing anything. The issue with that is it leads to feelings of lethargy, and leads to feelings of just feeling down and depressed because you're not doing anything. So you've got two choices, and it's very hard when you're in that moment to get up and move. But what is the other alternative? With me, say for example, with me and my business and stuff like that, and with Sarah and her uni, what would be the other alternative to doing it? What would be the alternative for me not to do what I'm doing now? It would be to get another kind of job, to be employed and possibly do something I don't like. That scares the crap out of me. That's not an alternative I want to go for. So that in itself gives me motivation to do the thing that I'm putting off for some time. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So with Sarah, when she doesn't want to do an assignment, or you had an assignment the other day that got completely wiped off, didn't you? You said you had something you had to redo because you got it completely.
Oh yeah, no, it wiped off my hard drive.
Yeah, so she had to do it all over again.
I had 3 days to write a 2,500 word assignment.
And anyone who's been to uni knows that doing a 2,500 word assignment is a ball ache. Sounds easy, but it takes forever. You spend about an hour like doing a tiny paragraph because you've got a reference and stuff like that. It's so annoying.
Linking in what you just said, actually, I just had a thought. So like to do with motivation. So I don't know if anybody knows the extent of my anxiety issues. Yeah, but essentially I got bullied quite badly at school. I know a lot of people did, but it left me with sort of anxiety issues to the point where I struggle to go out in public. I struggle to just walk down the street without my legs turning to jelly and not, I break out in panic attacks and sweats, and I live literally 2 minutes away from my uni, and it is a struggle for me not to have a panic attack in that time. But the motivation for me to access my university course and to become a teacher far outweighs that daily panic attack, and I literally feel myself every day having that panic attack and just playing over in my head a mantra, or like, you'll be a good teacher, like trying to keep those motivations in your head to achieve those things, even though the thought of walking outside the house to me feels like jumping off an airplane. It genuinely does. So I think trying to keep your motivations, like you were saying, like to the alternative is to not do it and lose your goal. So yeah, like having those motivations constantly to say, like, why am I doing this? The thought of that terrifies me. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to do this if I want it that bad, otherwise it's gonna be worse. Like the thought of me not being a teacher absolutely terrifies me.
It's your calling.
I don't know how I'd live my life without being a teacher. So yeah.
That's right. Oh, thank. Oh God, my heart got. Oh, don't worry, you can freaking read.
My heart goes out for you.
I said you could read. You're doing that.
Oh bless. Oh, thank you.
She says, "Oh, I don't know what she said. Thank you."
I really wanted to read it like a girl accent, but I thought that
you could do Scottish, but you can't do American.
No, but I can do sassy.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I can do sassy, but girl.
Yeah, I can't. A girl.
Yeah. don't do that.
So the alternative again, it would be wash my scales.
It's alright. I thought it was the table.
It's keep an eye. It's keep an eye. That's how I said it. Yeah. What, my way or her way?
Oh, the little baby scales.
Oh, I know. My God, I'm a tiny person.
Are they your baby feet?
Oh, they go on my baby feet. Do it the rest of this live. Sassy then said, no, please don't. So other tips I use, I've got a playlist on YouTube that is about 130 movies long within them, that's full of motivational videos and stuff.
Eminem Till I Collapse, that's a good one.
That is a very good one.
Yeah.
I've got a workout playlist on Spotify. It's actually public, so you can guys. But I don't think you guys will like it. But it doesn't matter anyway. They might do, yeah. Anyway, okay, right. So moving on. Question 3: how are you finding uni during lockdown?
Well, being a nerd, I love it. I'm not good at I've gotten good at social interaction, but if I can avoid it, I will. I'm.
You are basically like that girl from what's that Disney movie? What's a Disney movie where she loves books?
Beauty and the Beast.
That's it.
Yeah. I would much rather, like, everybody else wants to go out partying, I want to sit down with a book. Like, I'd much rather be with a book than do anything else. So, for me, like, uni and just having all that time to study and not have the pressure of going out and doing stuff, like, for me, is just absolute heaven. So, it works for me. I know a lot of people going to uni with me are really suffering and feeling like they're being cheated out of the uni experience. But for somebody like me who just wants to study and study and study, you know, then yeah, it's perfect for me.
I must admit, when I was pardon me, I was bodybuilding whilst I was at uni. I was prepping for show and stuff like that. So being in lockdown, probably would have worked well for me as well, because I hated to go to uni because it took me out of my routine. I was far more focused on bodybuilding than I was on uni, and it probably shouldn't have been, but it's just I had to go through that phase anyway.
Don't get me wrong though, like there is still the same amount of work, but it's more like
off your own back.
Yeah, like I find if I go to uni one day, like the whole social anxiety thing will exhaust me so much that I spend half that day at uni and then I can't do anything the rest of the day. I'm just absolutely shattered from social interaction. So being able to have like online things where I can just listen in on lectures and things and, you know, get my work done. I have the whole day to do it because I don't get that sort of knackered from social anxiety.
It's on your time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why I like doing. So I'm still learning very much some and stuff like that. I'm very much learning still. I read all the friggin' time.
I'm quite impressed with the amount you read actually.
Oh, I'm that sweet.
You never used to hate reading.
Well, saying that, when I was younger, I used to read all these books, Bruce Lee books I got here.
No. When you were like really young, you used to hate it. Then you got into it for a while. Then you were off it again. Then you got into Bruce Lee, and then the reading started getting.
Yeah, I used to get up early before school. I used to read a biography book of Bruce Lee before I had school. I used to hide behind the couch in the front room because I wanted to keep reading instead of go to school. So, I mean, in that way, I'm pretty nerdy as well. I am pretty nerdy.
Well, you're a different kind of nerdy.
I'm a different kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Because I'm like nerdy.
Yeah. Any embarrassing stories about Ryan when he was younger?
Oh gosh, where do I start? Oh God, I can't think of. There's so many. Which one do I pick?
I can't remember any.
No, there's loads.
Okay, we'll pick the least embarrassing then.
The least embarrassing.
Yeah, the least embarrassing.
Ryan's Postman Pat slippers.
I loved Postman Pat when I was younger.
No, honestly, if you saw him with these Postman Pat slippers, he looked like the Cabbage Patch Kids. Like, he was just, I tell you what, the one, like, really, maybe not embarrassing, but that really, you remember when you got that nail in your head?
Yeah, I've had a nail stuck in my head. It would explain a lot of things, to be fair.
Yeah, that was insane. Right, basically, we had a new house, didn't we? Like, my family.
Yeah.
And you came over for dinner or something.
I can't remember at all.
Yeah, and we were sat in the hallway, and there was a nail coming out of the wall. And it happened in, like, slow motion, where you put your head back, and I just saw this nail go into your head slowly. And, like, you know, before you can say anything, it's like, and already it was in your head. And, God, that was terrifying.
Yeah,
like,
still got
I know that's not an embarrassing story, but that's, like, one of the most biggest stories I remember from Roger. And, yeah, God. So there's a lot of reasons why, like, Ryan is the way he is.
A metal nail is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, right, Callum, we're gonna answer your question. My not so little brother asked a question: who's your favourite cousin, Callum or Ryan? And when he sent the question, he put Callum in capitals. Hint, the correct answer is in caps. Well, no, the incorrect answer is in caps. You're not even going to bother answer the question because I'm going to answer the question for you. Okay, moving on. What?
To be fair, I think, Callum, you've already got your own fan base, haven't you? Like you've got Luke, my brother, like, he loves you to death, so, and Ryan, I grew up with him, so it's going to have to be Ryan, like, and that's no, like, oh God, have you got Callum next week?
Yeah.
Are you going to tell him what Callum looked like when he was born? Okay, picture in your mind a baby orangutan. I'm not even kidding, right? When I saw it, I didn't even know if it was a baby. It was like the just like a mop of red hair.
Oh
It
dear.
was- yeah. It's like, you sure his name is Callum? You sure he's not orangutan?
His arm's gonna grow.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember Callum being born. But yeah, no, Callum's got my brother Luke. Like me and Ryan, we've been together since 1992 or 1993 for you. 4.
Yeah. Gosh,
All right,
saying I'm older.
well, I'm older than you.
I know.
I remember.
You can tell as well. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the memory.
So yeah, no, I've always been looking. Do you remember that time when you kept misbehaving in the playground and they put you against the wall? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, so in our school, like, if you misbehave, they put you against the wall. And I was always looking out for Ryan, he's my little baby cousin. And, he'd just cry at everything. And he was, like, found him crying against the wall because he wouldn't stop doing this thing in the playground that they kept telling him not to do. And I was always... There's even a picture of me, like, hugging you. Like, I was very protective of you, I think. Like... My little baby cousin, get nails stuck in your head.
Yeah, probably right. Pity.
Pinhead.
Yeah, literally pinhead. Yeah, and bold as well, mate.
Yeah.
Just not as pale.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Who'd win in a fight between you two? Sarah. I don't hit girls. Not in that way. Anyway.
Well, I used to be able to pin down you and Sam, like when I was younger, and then I got bullied at school for being too strong. I was called like a lesbian at school because I used to beat up boys at school, but not in a self-defense way. It wasn't ever like
She would. I've seen it before. She would literally grab the neck and hold her up like kind of like a wrestling.
I actually a boy like stole my food at school and I just got so hacked off with it. I lifted him off the ground. I didn't really realise I'd done it until afterwards. But yeah, since then I was like, nah, maybe I shouldn't train so much on my muscles and just work on my brain instead.
That was yes, Callum. It was cringy as fuck. It was meant to be cringy as fuck.
What was cringy?
When we said who would win a fight, I said you would because I don't hit girls. Not in that way anyway. But you were too busy talking. Not like that. Not that face anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so we're gonna move on.
technically, you probably win in a fight though. I'd outsmart you though. I find a way to outsmart you.
Oh god, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god, yeah. Sun Tzu, wouldn't
By
it?
tight shoelaces.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Was that gasoline I tripped on your legs? Whoops, fire.
Oh, you're burning. So sorry.
Right, you're on fire. No, you are literally on fire.
Oh dear. Okay, right. So this is quite a deep thing. As Sarah has told you, she's gone through depression and anxiety before. I have also. I have known people who had gone through depression and anxiety. Sarah's going to tell you some things that she's learnt.
Make me.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. I promise.
I promise.
I solemnly swear.
And then I'll talk about it as well. Say talk about it. Yeah. Essentially talk about it. Okay, right. So Sarah, you go first. What have you learnt from going through depression and anxiety? I should be a game show host, shouldn't I?
Oh, crumbs.
No. That's not going to be the name of the game show.
What? All
Crumbs. Yeah. Just follow the crumb.
Ooh, crikey.
Yeah. you know what? You know, like Family Guy. When I think it's piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah.
Ooh, piece of candy. That's where like be the crumbs. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
Depression, anxiety. God, why'd you start with that? Like...
Just say it doesn't have to be big. It just what have you learned? So basically, obviously with everything that's going on now.
I think my biggest thing with depression is if you're going through it, tomorrow's another day. Like, tomorrow is another opportunity for you to try again, and everything that you do to try and get out of it is helping. Like, especially for people who, like, when people see people going through depression, it often looks like they're torturing themselves. But actually there's a whole third party there, and that's their brain telling them all these things, these negative thoughts that are just grinding them down, and you need to be able to see it from that perspective. They're not, at the minute, they're not in control, and it's about taking back that control and that self-worth, because I don't know if a lot of people know, but a lot of depression stems from anxiety. So there's a lot of evidence to suggest that anxiety in youth becomes depression in later life. It's because of a lack of self-confidence in yourself that depression manifests, because you just feel helpless. You feel like you've got no way of changing your environment, changing your world, and that's not true at all. But in the world, especially the world we live in today, it is easy to give into that. So my biggest thing to take away from depression is literally just whatever you do to keep trying every single day, even if it's like you're gonna take enjoyment out of going to get your favourite cake from the shop, or like I do. Like, honestly, that's what if I'm having a really bad day, I'm like, or I'm really struggling to go outside, I'll just be like, you know what, there's a pastry with my name on it at M&S. Like, and that journey is purposeful for me, because I'm gonna feel like A, I've achieved something by going outside, and B, like, pastry. So even if it's just something small, a lot of the time I think that people who are going through depression have fallen out of love with life itself. So small things like for me, colouring, like because I'm quite artistic, like getting back into doing something creative and being productive with something, even no matter how small it is, even it doesn't have to be the greatest piece of art or the greatest bit of colouring. It's about the process of you enjoying it.
If I'd done it, it would be though. It'd be like a Mona Lisa.
Yeah, of course it would. I've got a new idea, gym art.
Yeah. Let's draw a bar.
Yeah. Stamp the bar. Yeah, so anything that brings you joy, it could be something really, really stupid, but if it brings you joy, it's worth it, and you're slowly getting up that ladder of getting out of that depression. So yeah, that's my biggest thing, is honestly, don't give in to it. It's a nasty bastard, but don't give in to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move on from that in a certain way. Even though it is very, very, very hard to control your thoughts, and to control your environment in a sense, the way I see it, and I thought of, as I was asked the question, I thought of this way of describing it. So imagine you're a wooden boat, right? You're in the sea.
Become the boat.
Yeah, I am the boat. The boat symbolizes yourself, symbolizes your mind. The sea is the sea is life, everything around you, the people you have around you, your thoughts, so on. Oftentimes you're going to go through the waves, everything in your life is moving in the right direction. The sea is calm, the boat is moving through the current, and it just seems seamless, and you're led there thinking life is great, just going with it. But then, like everything, you're going to go through rough patches in life. The waves are really fucking angry, and it's just smashing into your boat and poking holes into your boat.
I feel like we should be acting this out.
We should, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, ready? Okay, ready? So you go through rough patches of your life, the sea is angry. Yeah, no, I can't.
It's going to be a turbulence.
Yeah. The sea is angry, and the water's smashing into your boat, right? And it's allowing water to get in. People nowadays, what I've found, they just simply try to cover the hole. They just simply try to put some tape over the hole, like a band-aid on a wound, hoping it will stay okay until the next time, until, it will last until the sea is calm again. But then, because they don't want to put the work in and they want to remain ignorant of the issue there, because it requires discomfort and action, like they don't want to get their hands dirty, for example. They don't want to think of what's going on. They leave it, and then what happens is, because they leave it, when the sea gets harsh again, when the sea gets angry again, when life gets hard again, it pokes even more holes into your boat. If you see what I mean.
Yeah,
And then that, because so all of a sudden you're there, like, and you have all these things, all these holes that you could have and you probably should have fixed, but because you wanted to remain ignorant, because it would allow you to be, just put it to one side and leave it alone.
It's easier to distract yourself with things that make you momentarily happy than to actually deal with the root of the problem.
Yeah.
And that's not that. When I say things like, go to the shop or whatever, like, little small victories, I'm not saying completely ignore your depression. I'm saying that when you're in that much of a depression that you haven't got any motivation whatsoever, those small things, those small victories do count.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
that is essentially grabbing a plank of wood and reinforcing the hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a small plank of wood each time.
You're doing little bits.
Yeah.
But another thing I would say with depression is that a lot of my depression was quite tricky. Like, I had to have lots of therapy for it, because my depression was that I basically just didn't see the meaning of life. Like, I didn't really get it. I didn't really understand what I was doing here. I didn't really, the really deep questions.
Uncomfortable truth.
Yeah, uncomfortable truths, yeah. And no one I ever spoke to every day, no one wants to speak about those things. No one wants to try and unpick those things at all. And it just really got me down, because everybody was just trying to push those thoughts away.
Ignorant.
Yeah. And I used to read, well, I still do read a lot of philosophy, and psychology has really helped as well. Helped me find ways of managing things and different perspectives, different ways of looking at things. If anybody's interested, the Tao of Pooh is stereotypically a really good book, but it's stereotypically a good book for a reason. That helped me a lot.
When she said Tao of Pooh, she doesn't actually mean like...
No, not Pooh, as in Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear, the, Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I didn't even know.
No, the Tao of Pooh is a really, really good book. If you're interested in Eastern philosophy, it's like a entry level book. So yeah, I highly recommend that. And I looked at a lot of sort of Buddhism and the way that they view life, and if you've ever looked at Buddhism, they think that the world is inevitably full of suffering. The point is to try and minimise that suffering as much as you can. It's not to say that suffering doesn't exist. And my personal opinion is it's much more common to be suffering and be unhappy than to be happy. But actually, that suffering and that pain actually makes happiness all the more worth it.
You can have happiness without it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I do genuinely believe that life is pain and suffering.
Yeah.
It's horrible as it is.
But it's about viewing it and enjoying those moments of happiness.
It's perspective.
Yeah. It's knowing that, okay, the storm's rough at the minute, but I'm putting planks in my boat.
You're putting planks in your boat to reinforce a hull. So when...
You know that sunny clear skies and smooth sailings ahead.
And it's so when you encounter rough patches again, you've been through it before, in a sense that Thing is, regardless of whether you think you have a right to feel the way you do or not,
nothing's going to help it.
You have a responsibility to yourself to diagnose and fix the issues with your boat to prevent it from happening again. That may be outsourcing who you get it from. Maybe
it comes back to choices as well. Like, you can either sit there and just watch yourself sink and say, well, life's done this to me and therefore I have a right to be like this.
Entitlement.
Or you fix the boat and you try and do something with it. Like, use what you've got rather than what you haven't. But yeah, going back to what I was saying with depression is that I think a big integral thing that I've learned is if you're not doing something that you love to do, you're gonna get depression in one form or another. And believe me, I've had like years of working in supermarkets where I was just so depressed because I
It's
felt
going to lead to things like resentment and entitlement again and stuff like that
yeah,
as
and
well,
you feel
isn't
like
it?
you're just stuck in this position that you didn't ask to be in. You feel like you're, you know, there's so many other things that you could contribute to society, and you're just not giving what you feel you can. And you know, especially I mean, a lot of my work is manual work, so I just felt like my brain was wasted like on something. You know, like I wanted to be using my brain. So yeah, like having, I mean, it's taken me forever to get to uni, like to, you know, the age I am. Like I've had to go through a lot of sort of trials and tribulations to get there and do my A levels again and all that sort of thing. But actually, having that goal has brought me out of depression. I can't remember the last time I felt that level of depression that I used to. Just because I feel like I'm doing something every day that I thoroughly enjoy. There are stresses and pressures of university and deadlines, but at the same time, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't go back to working in the supermarket at all, because it's something I love to do. And that's a big thing with depression, is finding what it is that makes you tick, that makes you want to get up in the morning.
So what would be, so going off a tangent a bit then, so what would be your advice, so if someone hasn't found what they want to do, their niche, so to speak, what would be your advice to doing that? What would be your advice to find that?
For me, it was going back to my childhood and trying to rediscover what I loved doing in my childhood. So you will find that things that you did in your childhood, you perhaps went, oh, that's childish things now, I'll put it to that to one side. And then actually you go back to it and realise, why did I stop doing this?
Like, you can make a career out of anything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, like, going back to doing art, like, I loved doing art as a kid, so going back to doing that, I find that very therapeutic now. But the thing that I am obsessed with is learning. And I sort of gave up on that for a while because I felt like it was just a wasted talent. And a lot of that was because of, you know, my depression speaking. But then I sort of realised, well, why not? Like, why can't I do those things? And I've gradually proven to myself over and over that if I put my mindset in the right place, that in a place of progression, in a place of movement rather than a fixed mindset, then actually I can do the things that I really want to do with my life. And yeah, like anybody who's going through depression, try things that you wouldn't necessarily do. And that is so hard when you are going through that. But literally, like, it could be you discover you like ice skating, you discover you like presenting to people, or like, yeah, like,
That's a drastic move.
No, I know somebody.
Mind you saying that,
I know somebody,
even me,
one of my
like,
friends is stupidly funny, and they got into stand-up comedy, and that's their job now. Like, and they.
I could be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, no, honestly, you've got.
No. Speak for yourself.
Right, you don't need to be at work at being a stand-up comedian. That's the difference.
No, I don't.
Just have to watch you and laugh.
Yeah, literally. I'm like a walking funny highlight reel, like a walking you being framed highlight reel. But yeah, no, that's very
like
good.
Dwarven freak.
Okay, so next question. Relationship advice for those with depression and anxiety. Now, obviously
Is this for people who are with people who have depression? Or people that are wanting to get a relationship?
It's quite vague, isn't it? So, guys, if you could comment, would you like it to be relationship advice with people who you're in a relationship with someone and they have depression, or you're the one with depression and you want it that way?
Because both are just as hard.
Both are just as hard, but is there because obviously depression is so unique to each individual, but is there a way that we can give a general response to that question?
So if I'm going to come on here again, I better get a better seat. I've got a flat arse.
I got the nice seat. Entitled.
Since 1994.
Yeah. EST. So I'll go first. Do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Rock, paper, scissors? Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'll go on then.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Do you do 3 things? Or?
Yeah, 3 please.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay, you go first.
No, you go first.
Okay, right. So
I just want to play rock paper scissors.
Relationship advice for those. So I've been in both ends of the spectrum. I've made mistakes in both ends of the spectrum. It's incredibly hard. I would say the biggest thing is communication, by far. That's one of the things that I struggled with.
But I think it's knowing how to communicate effectively. It's not about just laying everything out there and waiting for whatever's thrown back at you.
So I'm reading this at the minute, and I'm going to read a little chapter, and it is about things, so bear with me. You have to consciously define the topic of conversation, particularly when it is difficult or it becomes about everything, and everything is too much. This is so frequently why couples cease communicating. So people stop communicating when things become too much.
Oh, you got a tiny head.
I know. Instead, you can say, this exact precise thing is what is making me unhappy. So if you think of what precise thing is making you unhappy, then you say that.
There's no point in just blankly going, I'm unhappy because you're a dick.
Yeah.
That doesn't solve anything.
Exactly. And then you say, this exact precise thing is that what I want as an alternative, even though you should be open to suggestions. Sarah looks better than how I knew. Ha 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 ha. Sorry, that was really rude.
OG New York.
Yeah. I play baseball, mate.
Yeah. What's baseball?
Yeah, New York Yankees. Where was I? Even though you should be open to suggestions, this exact precise thing, that is what you could deliver. So the person you're talking to, this is what they could do. So give them suggestions. What they could do to stop making your life and theirs miserable. But to do that, you have to think, what is exactly wrong and what do you exactly want? You need to speak forthrightly and call forth the habitual... Okay, don't worry about that. You must use precise...
You can't say words sometimes.
You can't say words. I can't say words.
You must use honest, precise speech to do that. If instead you shrink away and hide, you are hiding from what will transform itself into the dragon that lurks under the bed, and in your forest and in your dark recesses of your mind, and it will devour you.
Okay, right. So basically, talk. So that, I honestly think...
But you gotta, I think it's really important to emphasise that you need to talk effectively. Like, being able to say, I don't like it when you do this because it makes me feel like that. Or you need to clarify what feelings are on both sides. Like, just being accusive, people are going to get defensive. And that's not going to solve anything. If you come to a conversation with your partner with an open mind and to say, like, look, I have a problem with you doing this, it's really making me feel like this, bringing understanding is much more effective than just throwing insults at each other, because it might make you feel better at the time, like just getting it off your chest, but you're going to damage a relationship in the long run, because people are going to get the wrong idea. Like, they're going to, start... It's why relationships end up hating each other, is because they just feel like they're slagging each other off.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
and then everything just gets shoved under the rug.
Yeah, and there's a time and a place for everything. If your partner's just come home from work and they've had a really shitty day, now is probably not the time to bring up that you don't like the fact that they keep leaving their laundry on the floor or something.
Yeah, it's context with it, like everything when it comes to stuff like this. And I am by no means perfect.
I am.
Okay. With all of this, I'm still learning. By far, I'm still learning. I've done a lot of growth with this particular thing, and with this whole topic of depression, anxiety, and understanding it and bettering myself and stuff like that. I've the journey I've been on since late last year has been incredible, and I've learned so much.
But going back to people dealing with people who have depression in their relationships, so if somebody has depression, the worst thing you can do is throw in the towel. That is the absolute... Because they've already thrown in the towel. So for someone they love to do that as well, honestly, it's the worst thing you can do. It's going to... Seriously, believe me, living with someone with frustration is... Sorry, living with someone with depression is frustrating. It really gets you down. But you can't... They've already given up on themselves. You can't give up on them. And the more you believe in them, I think the more they find that self-motivation as well, because once they've given up, they need that, like, instigated motivation from someone else. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they need that spark of someone else to have the faith in them to do it.
Okay, I agree in a sense, and I disagree. The reason why I disagree is that we are not fixers.
No, I'm not trying to say you're a fixer. I'm just saying that in a relationship, if you just throw in the towel and say, if you've got depression, I'm not going to bother with you.
Well, if you're in a relationship, you're in it for the long run, you've got to be there, and whatever it knows, you've got to be there to help them with
it's their decision to get out of that depression.
With the ups and downs. But again, even with depression, and you're the one who's got to have to say, right, look, you need to look at getting help.
Yeah.
You need to, but at the same time, and one of the things I struggle with...
And that's what I mean, like, it's being supportive. It's being like, we're going to sort out some help. We're going to, like, hey, why don't we go for a walk today? That kind of thing is keeping up with that positive attitude.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely exhausting, but you are literally dealing with somebody who's mentally ill.
The small things which again I learned from what I've been reading and stuff like that. The small things, they do count. But at the same time, and what I struggled with before, I think a lot of people do is say that you are not a fixer. I thought I could fix or help fix.
Oh yeah, no, being a fixer is absolutely unhealthy. I don't agree
from
with
that, it led to so many different things, and it got to the point where I was like, do you know what, fuck it.
Well, the thing is, the worst thing with that attitude of being a fixer is that you don't dedicate enough time to your own health, and therefore you're not going to be good for anybody else.
Yeah.
You take responsibility for other people's mental issues.
Yeah.
Which are issues that they need to be able to sort out. Like, that no matter how much you do, without the... What's the saying? Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. It's exactly that. Like, if they don't want to drink, you can't make them.
And I think at that point, it's a case of, right, you want what's best for this person, but it's taking an impact on your health. And being a fixer as well, I think it leads to, because you are so focused on other people, and you're so focused on how other people are feeling and how they are, you get so, would you say emotionally dependent or emotionally attached?
I wouldn't say that, because they're emotionally dependent on you.
Yeah,
they've been emotionally dependent on you. And that is a lot of responsibility. But yeah, you become not obsessed. What's the word? So preoccupied. You get so preoccupied with their health that you don't take the time for you, and that is important. You can't. At the end of the day, nobody can be self-reliant. It is genuinely unhealthy. If you're reliant on someone, that is unhealthy. Categorically. You can't live like that. Everybody has friends and everybody has people they turn to, but you need to find that level of independence.
In other words, you need to fix your own damn issues. Putting it bluntly, you do.
But you can get help.
But you can, like you said, you can get help, and with the right people around you. If they are the right people around you, if they are the people that genuinely want to help you, and I've shown that they genuinely want to help you, then...
You're very cynical.
What do you mean?
If these people have shown they genuinely want to help you, if they've proved they've passed test 3...
Then yeah. But, so, to summarise, because that was a very long-winded one, communicate effectively, look after your own mental health.
Don't be dependent.
Don't be dependent. And for those...
You have your own life, you have your own interests. You don't have to be glued to someone for your whole life. You can love each other as much as you like, but being dependent on someone else is unhealthy. And it's good to have differences. It's good to Be there for each other, but not dependent.
Thing is, what people don't realize is that with the way people are with relationships nowadays, they genuinely think it's plain sailing because of Hollywood and stuff like that in movies.
I don't think people think it's plain sailing, but I do think that
it's very intense.
They believe that relationships are the be all and end all.
Yeah.
And if you're not in a relationship, or if you're not married, or if you haven't got children, then you're a failure. And and there are other things outside of that. Like, I think it's far more important to meet somebody that you have a good connection with, and to have that companionship rather than just going for the first.
That's the word. So we're not. So when you think of relationship, what you want is, because the thing is, the spark and everything is going to eventually die down. Everyone knows about the honeymoon phase and stuff like that.
But again, that's a lot of it is based on.
What you're left with is partnership. What you're left with is companionship. You can revitalize that spark and such, but you are left with companionship and partnership, which is far better.
Yeah.
You go through life together, and I think that's people forget that they think it's going to be sparks and.
But have you ever researched the Greeks that identified several types of love?
No.
That's really interesting. So the Greeks felt that love that is like a primal kind of like lust kind of love, they felt that was almost like a disease. Like there was something wrong with you if you were, that much in love with someone. And that's why a lot of the sort of Greek mythology, you have a lot of people who fall romantically in love and they can't get away from each other, and then they have tragic endings. It's warning against that kind of love. And in a way, there's some truth to that, in that, those sort of infatuations, that's the word, infatuation, they don't last, and you need something stronger. That companionship is what brings it forward. And there's a word for it that escapes me now, but there's a word in Greek that defines that level of love between people, and that there's a brotherly love, which is very similar, and there's a relationship between partners, which is that healthy kind of love that we're talking about. But that's an interesting topic if you ever feel like
I must admit, like this whole topic is something that I've like researched extensively. And with like books and stuff like that, and like the clarity I've had for it is awesome. But anyway, moving on. How do you maintain a positive mindset? You can't. It's as simple as that. You can't maintain a positive mindset. But she's thinking, so I shall let her have the floor.
I think you can have a growth mindset. Positive mindset is a bit odd. Like if you're constantly having a positive mindset, you're not appreciating.
Ollie, shout out to Miss Meister Method. He will be on my page on Tuesday. We'll be having a Q&A. Can't wait for that. But yeah, sorry, carry on.
Who's Ollie?
Ollie?
You cheated on me with Ollie. Why did you do that?
I'm sorry.
He's gonna have a better chair than me as well.
No, we're doing it live.
Be in the recliner.
Yeah.
Where was I?
So.
Oh yeah, positive
mindset.
Yeah. So Carol Dweck, she's a psychologist and educationalist, and she has the opinion that there is no such thing as a positive mindset per se, but it's more of a growth mindset. That's her term, a growth mindset, and it's basically acknowledging the bad times, acknowledging that there are things that go wrong, there are things that you're not very good at, but also that they can be worked on, that there is a solution, that there is a way of getting better at the things that you're not so good at. And to be honest, I've kind of been a human guinea pig for the last 3 years, because I've had such a fixed mindset for most of my life. And,
me too.
Yeah. And it's like, well, I'm no good at maths, so therefore I'll never be good at maths. And you just avoid these things. Whereas it's much better to actually face those things and realise what the hell was I running from. Like, you realise that actually I can get better at it. Like, I can improve on these things. Those things that you want to fix in your life, it's not so much a positive mindset. It's, okay, what are the things I can improve? what are the things I can work on? That's how we should be approaching life, not well, I'm no good at that, so I'm stuck in this place forever, and that instigates feelings of
resentment, entitlement, depression,
Yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah.
So having, how do you maintain? You can't maintain a positive mindset. It's as simple as that. But you can have a growth mindset, and it is essentially again, if we had to summarize, I'd say it's essentially one of two things. One, change it to a perspective. So, for example, it's raining and you didn't bring a coat. Oh, it's raining and I did bring a coat. Oh, okay, but that means I'm gonna have to run. What if I run? Then that's a bit of exercise. And then always see the good in a situation, and always look at where you can grow. Bless you.
Pardon me. Oh, sorry, it was coming. I was trying.
Always look at where you can grow within the situation, which is a growth mindset.
A skill of turning negative things into a positive.
I'm very good at that, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill, but if you master it,
I master it.
Yeah.
I'm a black belt.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more questions, guys, and that's it. We've been on there for quite a while, so thank you for staying tuned. Sarah, what are your biggest lessons you've learnt in life so far?
Nothing is wasted, and don't take it too seriously.
I like that.
Yeah.
I very much like that.
Every experience, don't regret it, because honestly, you learn so much from everything you go through, and you never know when it's going to come in handy. Skills that you've had.
I've also like noticed that the most painful of situations and things that you go through in life make you grow the most.
Yeah.
I would never ever have gone on this journey if it wasn't for something that happened late last year, and even though it sucked, I'm so fucking grateful for it, because I wouldn't know anything like this now. I'd still be really ignorant. But even like I said, even though it sucked, I'm so much better off, like, mentally, with everything I've learned.
Yeah, it's debatable.
Oh, okay. Maybe I have shrapnel in my head from that nail.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so much better off. Turned to the side, still a nail.
Yeah. Look, guys.
I'm so much better off.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I definitely, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah. And also, don't take things too seriously. Honestly, like, there's so much to enjoy, and if you're gonna just live your life complaining about everything, what is the point?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got to take opportunities to enjoy the little things, to have a giggle over it. Something goes terribly wrong, imagine you're in a sitcom, and how hilarious that would be if you saw it in a sitcom. The amount of times that, like, something just goes really, really shit.
Like a nail in my head.
Yeah, and I just laugh at the whole ridiculousness.
Like she did when I had a nail in my head. Oh my god, look! It's like an antenna, right?
It was literally, no!
Yeah. You started to look like Shrek, mate. I don't think Shrek was out then, was it? 2000 it came out.
Yeah.
I actually know when Shrek came out.
Way before that. Yeah. I'm old. You might have gathered. Do you know what? I read a really interesting thing recently, and it said, like, because a lot of people have anxieties about starting over and trying new things.
Yeah.
And it said, like, for example, like, you're 28. If you go to uni after those 3 years, you'll be 30. Sorry, 31.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, sorry, I perhaps it's...
She did say maths wasn't a strong point.
Yeah, see? Proven. Yeah, you'll be 31, but, what are you going to do otherwise? Like, you can either spend those 3 years doing something worthwhile, or you can spend those 3 years doing something that's, doesn't do anything for your progression. So you might as well do that thing. It's going to take the same amount of time. So yeah, look for things that you can make fun of, and yeah, just don't take things too seriously. Like, it's, that's my attitude to life, is like,
Okay, final question. Sarah, what are your top tips for living a full life? Give me 3 if you can.
Loving yourself is one.
Not like what you can, but like, don't do that just yet. Make sure you're off thing first.
Yeah. No. I mean, like, loving yourself as in appreciating that... Wait, I'm being serious.
I'm being serious
I'm
now.
being serious.
Serious.
Shut up.
It's my turn.
They're asking me.
We had a lot of practice with this kind of thing when we were younger, so you could see why.
Yeah. No, you used to hog the PlayStation.
Yeah, I still do.
Yeah. And I wasn't allowed to go on, and I just had to watch. But now, when I'm playing Skyrim, I can't bloody play. I enjoy watching it. Like, playthroughs are great for me. I love just watching stuff. Like, honestly, I panic so much. My hand-eye coordination... I'm literally, as soon as a zombie comes out...
Jump!
As soon as there's a Draker, I'm like, ah! Like, take it!
Kill that thing for me!
I was like, ah! Like, yeah, literally, I'm like riding along, oh, this is pleasant. Wolf! Like, take it! I'm gonna die. Yeah.
Your top tips for living a full life, Sarah.
Full
Give
life,
me 3.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to stay focused. Okay, loving yourself, finding something that makes you passionate, and third one, perhaps we can do a collaborative third one. Always find, like, once you've reached your goal...
So much for a collaborative.
Sorry, I'm wondering if you might agree. Once you might find that once you reach your goal, that you feel like, well, I've reached my goal, what do I do next? It's finding that new thing that's gonna, like, motivate you to the next, like, jump. If that
Yeah,
makes,
there is no end. We even with like
it's about
my
the journey,
business
not
thing.
it's about the process, not the goal, not the end goal.
Even with like my business and stuff like that, I've noticed the goalpost always fucking moves.
Yeah.
In the sense of like once you got a goal, so right, I want a bigger one now. I want a bigger one now. I want a bigger one now, and that's literally what keeps happening. So don't if goals.
I think you're confusing goal setting with greed, right?
Speak for yourself.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Sorry, what way is my profession greedy? My profession's the most...
You hog all the chalks and felt tips.
My profession is the most altruistic you can imagine.
It probably is, to be fair. What's mine then? Mine is.
Yeah, sure.
I literally, my profession, if you had to sum it up, like, it would... I put people through pain for a living. Genuine, like, physical pain.
I can see how you enjoy that.
Alright, this is not SNF.
Yeah, okay, so three goals. Right, so, love yourself, keep finding a new goal, or keep reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the third one I said?
I can't remember.
You're supposed to be paying attention, right?
I'm sorry.
Oh, find something that makes you passionate. Literally, that is the biggest one, is find something that truly makes you happy. It could be being with your children. Like, if that one truly makes you happy, go for it. Like, but others, it might be, you know, if you want to be a commentator on a game, like, you know, doing playthroughs and stuff, if that makes you happy, go for it. Like, it's your life at the end of the day. Your enjoyment of it is what's paramount.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a very good Q&A. I don't know about you, but my ass is numb now.
Your ass is numb. Have you seen how... Look, literally, this is what I'm sat on.
They get the VIP treatment.
Yeah.
Which is a stool. With a tiny little cushion. That's the VIP treatment. Yeah, no. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for being wanting to listen to me. I didn't think there'd be many people on here.
It was like each time I come on, it's amazing. Just like people talking as well, so it's always great. But yeah, Sarah will definitely come back and do another one. It is not up for discussion.
He hasn't even asked me yet.
Exactly, just why I said it's not up for discussion. But yeah, no, it was...
Am I?
Yeah. Who said so?
Who said?
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's nice to have everyone tune in and stuff. I really appreciate everyone tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for the interesting questions, by the way. Like, it stimulated my brain, so yeah, it was nice to have a good think about these deep questions and know that people are interested in them.
It's they are quite deep, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. It's stuff I talk about. We'll have a physics one next, shall we? How black holes are formed.
No, I'll just
What is an atom?
I'll just give it to you. Yeah, no, thanks, guys. Hope everyone's well.
Yeah, bye.
Till next Tuesday. See you later. And now.